जी।
Madam, climate change has become a household name not only in the country but across the world, because each and every nook and corner of the globe now has been affected by the climate change or climate warming. Climate change refers to the change of composition of the atmosphere, which is attributable by the direct and indirect intervention of the human beings. That is why it is the people of the globe who are responsible for this kind of nemesis under the rubric of climate change. Nature does not do any bailouts. That is why none in the globe, none under the sun is spared from the onslaught of nature's fury and frenzy. Simply, nature has been committing its retributive action against us because we have never given that due importance to the nature which has given birth to all of us. And that is why we are all being suffered. So the time has come to have an deep introspection of all of us without exchanging credits and discredits. Because you know that you can easily measure the gross national product by applying a few parameters. It is very simple thing and could be done in a short moment. But how can you measure the sustenance of our life? Do you have any parameters of it to measure the life to be sustainable, to be worthwhile? No. Everybody knows the greenhouse gases name, that is carbon dioxide, in addition to other gases also, which is the most potential source of global warming pollution. It is invisible. It is tasteless. It is odorless. And it is largely invisible to the market calculation also. And whichever is beyond the market calculation, it always treated indifferently. This is the problem of the globe. This is the problem of the humanity right now. It is much easier for government, business, and all the rest of us to pretend that it does not exist. Yes, we can easily pretend that it does not exist. But by pretending this willy-nilly, we are destroying the inhabitability of the planet. Here lies the crux of the problem. Each and every day, we are putting more than 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. India, in the year 2019, has emitted 2.96 billion ton. By 2030, it is estimated to emit 4.5 billion ton. The crude reality is that we are treating the earth as if it is a business in liquidation. Yes, it is a business in liquidation. So we are playing drakes and ducks with our own existence. Here lies the problem of humanity in the globe. According to the IPCC, yes, the average global temperature is estimated to have increased by 0.85 Celsius between 1880 and 2012. In 2013, the IPCC had estimated that the global temperature is likely to increase by at least 1.5 centigrade as compared to the pre-industrial level, that is 1850 to 1900 by the end of the 21st century. However, in August 2021, the IPCC estimated that a 1.5 degrees Celsius centigrade increase may happen much earlier by 2040. This could lead to a reduction of the snow cover, increase in heat wave, extreme precipitation, intensification of tropical cyclones, and increase in sea level. Our minister, Bhupendra Yadav ji, recently joined the COP26 global initiative, where 197 countries have been participated. We must know that India is already feeling the heat, the impact of the climate change. Heat waves are becoming more common and severe, with many cities reporting temperatures above 48 degrees Celsius in 2020. Heavy rain events have increased threefold since 1950, but total precipitation is declining. 1 billion people in India currently face severe water scarcity for at least 1 month of the year. Rising sea levels are also creating risk, as a third of India's population live along the coast, where the North Indian Ocean has risen by an average of 3.2 millimeters per year over the last 2 decades. The alarming signs are already in sight. The economic costs of climate impact in India are already immense. In 2020, a single event cyclone Amphan, which has ravaged the entire Bengal, affected 13 million people and caused over $13 billion in damage after it made landfall. Declining agricultural productivity, rising sea levels, and negative health outcomes were forecast to cost India 3% of gross domestic product at 1 degree Celsius of global warming. Low income and other marginalized groups are most vulnerable to the impacts of climate change. Lower carbon development could yield immediate benefits such as cleaner air, greater energy security, and rapid job creation. We all know the impacts of climate change across the globe. India spans a remarkably wide range of climate. In parts of Jammu and Kashmir, the annual average temperature is an icy 2 degrees Celsius, and temperature in the mountains can fall as low as minus 45 degrees Celsius. The Himalayas shield most of the country from the cold winds of the Central Asia. So the average temperature in some of the southern states is a balmy 29 degrees Celsius. The amount and frequency of rainfall across the country is equally varied. Parts of Meghalaya receive over 4,000 millimeters of rain a year. Parts of the Thar Desert receive less than 100 millimeter. 100 millimeter recorded 2017. The southwest monsoon, June to September, brings the majority of the country's rainfall, while the northeast monsoon, October to December, plays an important role in supplying southern India. The country's coastline of over 7,500 kilometers also influences local climate patterns. Taken together, India's size and of topography create a wide range of ecological zones, including alpine ecosystems, arid and semi-arid deserts, humid subtropical landscape, and both wet and dry topics. The country's immense climatic and geographic diversity is key to making sense of the diverse climate change impacts different regions are experiencing. Recently published data suggests that the average temperature across India increased by 0.62 degrees Celsius over the last 100 years. Temperatures are therefore rising at lower rate than the global average, but the impacts are nonetheless being felt. The reason is, as the economy has been globalized, so the climate is also being globalized. Any incident which may take anywhere in the world will certainly have a cascading effect on us. It may be economy, it may be climate, it may be anything else. So now we should ponder over of what is to be done in an effective manner so as to mitigate the fury and frenzy of the climate change. It is not the time to pass the buck upon each other. No. It is the time to sit together. It is the time to think together. It is the time to ponder over together. I would suggest that we should think globally but act locally. That should be the most effective measure right now we can adopt. Under the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, COP26 held in Glasgow, our Sanjay Agarwalji also visited the place, and he was so much effusive in praising our Prime Minister Modi ji. Yes, you have every right to praise himself. But the fact is, Panchamrita. I do not know whether it will solve the problem of the world. One Amrito we have got and thought it was a nectar, it was an elixir. It was an elixir. The first elixir we have got, it is Notbandi. Second elixir we have got, it is GST. Third elixir we have got, it is lockdown. So we do not need more and more elixir or nectars before being too cautious. India's position at COP26. India has the lowest per capita emissions among the world's major economies, with contribution of only 5% in total emissions, despite accounting for around 17% of global population. At present, India is the fourth largest carbon emitter after China, United States of America, and European Union. Delivering the national statement at COP26 summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji announced a 5-point action plan, Panchamrit, to underline India's commitment to containing climate action. Certainly, he has contributed something more tangible. I do not have any dispute of it, but we have to think reasonably. judiciously. Otherwise, it may go astray. First, Panchamrita, India will increase its share of non-fossil fuel energy capacity, renewable energy, to 500 gigawatts by 2030. The country will meet 50%, half of its total energy requirements from clean renewable energy by 2030. India will reduce by 1 billion tons of carbon, equivalent of greenhouse gases from total projected carbon emission from now till 2030. By 2030, the country will reduce the carbon intensity, carbon emissions per unit of gross domestic product of its economy by 45% from 205 levels. Very good. By the year 2070, India will achieve the target of net zero. It refers to a balance where emission of greenhouse gases are offset by the absorption of an equivalent amount from the atmosphere. Yes. This is the first step. This is the first time that India has committed a net zero emission to become a carbon neutral country. So what? It has been committed only. But how it will be realized? Because in a Paris Agreement, you have committed 2050. But now you are committing 2070. However, this is the first time India has committed net zero emission to become a carbon neutral country. But how it is possible? What is your roadmap? How much fund you require? These are all the aspects that needs to be elaborated. We should not be taken for a ride insofar as climate change is concerned. Otherwise, we all will be deceiving ourselves. Because the ultimate sufferer will be the people of our country, the people of the globe. Yes, Glasgow Pact has some salient features also. Number one, I will highlight adaptation. Glasgow Pact has created a 2-year Glasgow Saramal Sheikh work program to define the global goal on adaptation. Very good. Called for developed countries to at least double their 2019 levels of adaptation finance by 2025. Adaptation finance lags behind finance for mitigation, representing roughly 25% of total climate finance in 2019. Yes, this is also second part. This is the first time an adaptation-specific financing goal has ever been agreed globally. It has been agreed globally. Now come to mitigation. Glasgow Agreement called upon countries to scale up their 2030 climate action plan for NDC by COP27 next year. Intended nationally determined contribution, that is called NDC. Asked countries to accelerate shift of fossil fuel and coal to renewable energy. After objection by India, Sanjay Bagal was saying that India took the lead. No. After objection by India, China, Iran, Venezuela, Cuba, and other developing countries, the amended paragraph asks for all countries to escalate efforts towards the phase down instead of earlier phase out of unabated नहीं, आप कहना कि सेफ इंडिया की बात नहीं है. देखिए चाइना ने क्या किया. चाइना कॉमन बट डिफरेंशिएटेड रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड रेस्पेक्टिव कैपेबिलिटीज की बात कहे हैं. इसमें आपकी सरकार की रवैया क्या है वो तो जानकारी नहीं है. मैंने कहा कि आपको सेफ इंडिया नहीं किया. ए फेज डाउन की मसला अनएबेटेड कोल पे डिफरेंशिएट. भगवंत जी माइक ऑन नहीं था।
And that means common but differentiated responsibility. We all are agree to go for the mitigation about the climate warming, and that is our common aim. But differentiated responsibility according to the national circumstances.
है कि भूपेंद्र जी अभी तक स्पष्टीकरण नहीं है इसमें। ये चाइना इसमें ज्यादा तर्क किए हैं।
मैं आपके विषय का मैं आपको विषय नहीं कहना चाहता, वो केवल चाइना का विषय नहीं है। सीबीडीआर पूरी दुनिया ने समग्रता के साथ पेरिस में स्वीकार किया था, और बाकी पेरिस के बाद जितने भी जलवायु परिवर्तन पे वार्ताएं हुई है वो सीबीडीआर प्रिंसिपल को माना ही जाता है, सबके लिए स्वीकार्य।
कह रहे हैं कि आपने नहीं माना। मैंने कहा कि एनडीसी की बात ये कह नहीं, ये तो सीबीडीआर की बात नहीं कहे। मैंने कहा ये भी एक मुद्दा है जो चाइना ने उठाया, मैंने ये कह रहे हैं। आपने नहीं माना, ये माना, ये मुद्दा मैंने नहीं उठाया। मैंने ये कह रहे हैं कि जो फेज डाउन की जो मुद्दा है वो सिर्फ हिंदुस्तान नहीं, इंडिया, चाइना, ईरान, वेनेजुएला, क्यूबा एंड अदर डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज ने किया। मैं यही कह रहा हूं, ये सिर्फ हर चीज में ढिढोरा पीटना जो एक काम बन गए ना, ये ढिढोरा पीटते पीटते कब खुद को पीटने लगेगा पता नहीं। ये फेज आउट, आपने ग्लासगो में बैठते हुए ये फेज डाउन के बारे में एक्सप्रेशन दिए हैं। फेज डाउन ऑफ अनएबेटेड कोल मैंने पढ़ा है, बट ये भी कंट्रोवर्शियल है। आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि हम दुनिया को कोई राह दिखाया, नहीं। ऐसा भी कंट्रोवर्सी है कि अगर फेज डाउन ही करना है तो मकसद क्या पूरा होगा, यह भी चर्चा है। बहुत सारे देश इसके विषय पे आपत्ति भी जताए हैं कि अगर फेज आउट के बदले फेज डाउन करने में, और वो भी 2070 साल तक, तब तक क्या है रहेगा, बचेगा क्या, ये भी तर्क है। हमारे देश की, आप माने या ना माने, मैं दिखाता हूं आपको, हमारे ये देश की एक मतलब जाने माने हस्ती ने, थाम सरन फॉर्मर सेक्रेटरी एंड सीनियर फेलो एट सेंटर फॉर पॉलिसी रिसर्च, सेज इंडियाज इंटरवेंशन टू गेट द लैंग्वेज ऑन कोल वाटर डाउन माइट हैव बीन ए मिस्टेक। ये भी है तर्क, ये हमारा श्याम सरन जी भी कहे हैं, ये भी है तर्क के मुद्दे पर मैंने कह रहा हूं, ये भी है। फिर भी unabated coal power and phase out of inefficient fossil fuel subsidies while providing targeted support to the poorest and most vulnerable in line with national circumstances, ये भी पहला कदम है। This was the first time that cutting down on coal consumption was explicitly mentioned in a COP text, ये भी सही है। Committed to halting and reversing deforestation, speeding up the switch to electric vehicles and reducing methane emission, launched a work program to enhance mitigation ambition and implementation and convening of annual high-level ministerial meeting, preparation of annual synthesis reports to provide latest information on progress of countries on NDC, खत्म नहीं हुई, and long-term strategies for mid-century low greenhouse gas emission। इसके बाद तो मैंने पढ़ दिया एडाप्टेशन, आ गया मिटिगेशन, अभी आया फिनांस। द डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज हैड प्रॉमिस्ड इन 2009 to mobilize at least $100 billion of climate finance every year from 2020 to 2025. What is the fate of it? I do not know. For developing countries, the developed countries now affirm that this climate finance goal will be met in 2023. So it's a very possible, it's a very positive stand if it is rightly adopted, I must say. The Glasgow Agreement asks the parties to initiate the process of setting the new climate finance target beyond $100 billion for the post-2025 period. Now, Paris Rulebook. COP26 finalized the Paris Rulebook by resolving the key outstanding political decision needed for parties to fully operationalize the Paris Agreement provisions at COP26. इतने सारे विषय वहां रखे गए। ये कहते कि पहले कुछ नहीं किया गया, जो कहते पहले कुछ नहीं किया, जब मोदी जी ने ही किया सब कुछ, देश के लिए, उनको सामने मैं एक तथ्य रखना चाहती हूं. Addressing climate change as one of the key national priorities, India launched its National Action Plan on Climate Change in 2008 with 8 national missions, which are noted: National Solar Mission, National Mission for Enhanced Energy Efficiency, National Mission on Sustainable Habitat, National Water Mission, National Mission on Sustaining Himalayan Ecosystem, National Mission for a Green India, National Mission on Sustainable Agriculture, and National Mission on Strategic Knowledge for Climate Change. इसके बाद भी और सारी इनिशिएटिव लिया गया. ग्लासगो में संजय जी को मैं बता रहा हूं. At the COP26, India and the United Kingdom launched a new initiative, Infrastructure for Resilient Island States. और भी एक लिया गया.
को पैसे केवल इसलिए नहीं दिए जा रहे थे, उन्होंने पहले क्यों शुरू कर दिया, यही तो मैं आपको ध्यान में दिलाना.
हाँ, सारे मोदी जी के चलते कॉप्स हो रहे हैं ना. मोदी जी के चलते कॉप्स हो रहे हैं. मोदी जी ढिढोरा पीटने में माहिर है, सब जानते हैं. और आप जैसे लोग उनके साथ रहे तो और ढिढोरा पीटना चलेगा, ये भी हम जानते हैं.
मोदी जी काम करने में माहिर है. ढिढोरा आप पीटते हो, मोदी जी काम करने में माहिर है.
अच्छा, अभी आपको बता रहे हैं कैसा काम कर रहे हैं. आपको तो धैर्य नहीं हुई. अभी बता रहे हैं कैसे काम कर रहे हैं. एक मिनट रुकिए. मैं आपको तो प्रशंसा कर रहे हैं. इंडिया लॉन्च्ड एन एम्बिशियस इनिशिएटिव, वन सन वन वर्ल्ड वन ग्रिड ड्यूरिंग COP26 along with the Green Grids initiative of the United Kingdom. इसी के साथ आपने एक साथ चलने चाहा. अच्छा है. ये ग्लोबल जो फिनोमेना है क्लाइमेट चेंज, अकेला तो नहीं हम लड़ सकते, सबको साथ मिलकर लड़ना पड़ेगा. ये अच्छी बात है, लेकिन आपको ध्यान में अभी रखता हूं. अर्जुन मेघवाल जी, आप थोड़ा सुनिए गौर से. क्लाइमेट चेंज इज द मोस्ट अंडर रिपोर्टेड फेलियर of the Modi government. The assault on climate began as soon as Modi government took over in 2014. कैसे? In June 2014, मतलब जिस दिन मोदी जी हिंदुस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री बने, जिस साल, the Environment Ministry used a bureaucratic shortcoming to remove the ban on setting up factories in 8 critically polluted industrial belts. Number 1. Number 2, सुन लीजिए गौर से. Environment clearances were is to allow mid-sized polluting industries to operate within 5 kilometers of eco-sensitive areas, as against the earlier limit of 10 kilometers. Norms for coal tar processing, sand mining, paper pulp industries were also eased. In August 2014, the number of independent members in National Board for Wildlife was reduced from 15 to just 3. More government members in this board meant more government influence, a decision that many say was key to the environmental damage that was to follow. The new NBWL was a mere puppet of the government. 5 years later, we saw the result. NBWL approved 99.82% of all industrial projects, giving them environmental clearance. A total of 682 projects were allowed from the 687 projects it had to examine. In contrast, under UPA 2, UPA 2 की बात करते हैं. Under UPA 2, only 80% of the projects got clearance. 260 were allowed out of 328 projects. सबसे बड़ी बात क्या जानते हैं? भूपेंद्र यादव जी की काबिलियत पर मुझे जरा सा भी शक नहीं है, लेकिन इतने सारे जिम्मेदारियों संभालेंगे कैसे, ये जरूर मेरा शंका है. क्योंकि दावे के छोड़ के हर सारे जितने एनवायरमेंट मिनिस्टर बनाया गया, उसके कंधे पे और सारे बोझ रख दिया गया. मुझे पता नहीं इतने सारे बोझों कैसे संभाल पाएगा. However, I must admit that he is a versatile personality. I have a fullest regard upon him. The next assault came on 11 December 2017 when Central Pollution Control Board wrote to over 400 thermal power units in the country, allowing them to release pollutants in violation of the 2015 limits set by the government, which are to be followed till another 5 years. It also wanted newer thermal power plant to follow the new norms of clean technology set by the government. मैडम आपको चिंता नहीं, हमारा समय है, आप बिल्कुल चिंता ना करो।
ज्यादा हो गया
दीदी चिंता ना करो दीदी,
आधा घंटा से भैया
आराम
के
से
साथ नहीं
भूपेंद्र यादव से हमारा
काकली घोष जी
It comes as no surprise that by 2018, 15 of the world's most 20 polluted cities were in India. 20 के अंदर 15 सबसे polluted city कहाँ है? मोदी जी के हिंदुस्तान में। According to the
हिंदुस्तान आपका नहीं है? आपका क्या बांग्लादेश है या पाकिस्तान है आपका?
नहीं।
हिंदुस्तान आपका नहीं है क्या?
जरूर है।
हिंदुस्तान आपका नहीं है क्या?
मैंने क्या कहा?
आपने कहा मोदी जी का
मैंने मोदी जी
हिंदुस्तान,
की दोस्त नहीं दिया।
आपका हिंदुस्तान नहीं है? देश
मैंने
की
मोदी
आलोचना
जी की
मत
दोस्त
करो,
नहीं दिया।
आलोचना
मैंने
हमारी
कहा,
करो, समझ में आता है, लेकिन
किसी को
देश की आलोचना
तरफ
मत करो।
ये सबका दोष है। फिर मैं बड़े दावे के साथ कह सकते सबका दोष है। मोदी जी के सिर्फ अकेला दोष नहीं, सबका दोष है। हम सबका दोष है, सारे दुनिया की दोष है, तब ना हमें ये भुगतने पड़ते हैं। सबका दोष है इसमें, ये मानना चाहिए कि सबका दोष है, लेकिन यह ढिढोरा पीटा जा रहा है, इसलिए मैं बोलने में मजबूर हो रहे हैं। According to the 12th edition of the Environment Performance Index,
थैंक यू मैडम हो गया आपका 32 मिनट दे दिए टाइम।
समय छोड़ दीजिए ना
35 मिनट टाइम दे दिया
मैडम, इसलिए दीदी आप जब ये बैठते हैं तब प्रॉब्लम बनाते हैं। अकॉर्डिंग एक मिनट आप भी सुनिए,
क्या बोल दिया?
एक मिनट आप भी सुनिए, बेकार
गलत बात है।
समय खराब करते हैं दीदी। एक 5-7 मिनट में खत्म कर देंगे।
नहीं एक
अकॉर्डिंग मैंने समय बोल दिया, कितना समय की मेरा जरूरत है। According to the 12th edition of the Environment Performance Index, EPI 2020 released by Yale University, India has performed poorly. Out of the 180 countries analyzed, India stood at 168 behind all South Asian nations except Afghanistan. Afghanistan के छोड़ के बाकी सबसे हम पीछे हैं। With a score of 27.6, according to the report, the laggards such as Nigeria and India need to redouble their sustainability efforts, as the Environment Performance Index shows India needs to match its stock on environment with more action. यही तो कह रहा हूं, भाषण मत करो, एक्शन ज्यादा करो, यही तो मैं कह रहा हूं। India performed the worst regionally on all 5 key parameters for environmental health. क्या क्या पैरामीटर है? सैनिटेशन 30 में, ड्रिंकिंग वाटर 30 में, एयर क्वालिटी दिल्ली में पता चलता है कैसी एयर क्वालिटी हम सब रहते हैं, हेवी मेटल, वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट सारे 30 में। वी आर ऑल लैगिंग बिहाइंड इन all environment health parameters. It seriously needs to focus on fixing air and water quality and biodiversity. India, this report shows, is quite far from achieving sustainable development goals targets on environment. While the rhetoric on sustainability efforts of India has gone up, the increased vigor of efforts, though significant, still far short. मैडम आप बोलने दीजिएगा आपके? नहीं मैं जो समय मैं आपस में बात करते, मैं समय रखा आधा घंटा।
और कोई को बोलना है?
एक मिनट
6 बजे ही हाफ चलेगा।
हर रोज मैं
नहीं तो
नहीं
और
चाहते कि आपसे
दे
मेरा
दीजिए, और लोग भी तो अपना विचार रखें।
हाँ वो बिल्कुल हमारी
विचार
पार्टी
रखें।
मैं मेरे बड़े मुद्दे पर बात कर रहे हैं, आजू बाजू
सब
इधर
कोई
उधर नहीं
बोलेगा।
बात करते।
नहीं,
हो सकता है उनको अच्छा नहीं लगते, लेकिन
पूरा
मुझे कोई दोष
हिंदुस्तान
नहीं
को
है।
आप दोषी बना।
हो सकता है जी किसी को अच्छा नहीं लगता, लेकिन इसमें मुझे कोई दोष
आप बोलिए श्रीमती काकुली घोष जी बोले,
अगर आप बोलने देंगे तो आप बोलेगा, नहीं तो छोड़।
फिर बाद में बोलिएगा। बैठ जाइए।
Thank you, madam. We are discussing this.
प्रकृति शायद कुछ कहना चाहती है। ये हवा की सरसराहट, ये पेड़ों पर खुदकते चिड़िया की चहचहाहट, ये समुंदर की लहरों का शोर, ये बारिश में नाचते सुंदर मोर। कुछ कहना चाहती है हमसे ये प्रकृति शायद, कुछ कहना चाहती है। ये खूबसूरत चांदनी रात, ये तारों की झिलमिलाती बरसात, ये खिले हुए सुंदर रंग बिरंगे फूल, ये उड़ते हुए धूल कुछ कहना चाहते हैं हमसे। ये प्रकृति शायद कुछ कहना चाहती है। ये नदियां की कलकल, ये मौसम की हलचल, ये पर्वत की चोटियां, ये झिंगुर की सीटियां कुछ कहना चाहती है हमसे। ये प्रकृति शायद कुछ कहना चाहती है। नमस्कार।
Thank you, madam. It's a very appropriate decision to include